Pretty girl. We're going to get you all pretty in no time. So I have this miniature schnauzer here. She has a very soft cottony coat that mats. Now her hair ain't that long and she gets groomed every 4 to 5 weeks. 6 weeks maximum. I don't recommend that to the owners because her hair gets so matted. It's just so soft and cottony that her hair just mats up very easily. And it could be the owners aren't brushing her at home. But I wanted to show you how I'm going to get out these mats here. You can see how tight it is here on the legs. I don't worry about her body because I clipped that short, and her undersides there, I clipped that short. Sometimes it's matted. But I just want to show you how I get them out and, you know, my techniques for that. And yeah, she'll look much better afterwards. So what I do first is I put her right in the bathtub. I have my shampoo ready. It's already diluted with water. It's a concentrated shampoo that's meant to be diluted. So I put it into the jar. I don't wet her first. There's already water in the shampoo bottle. So as you can see, it does the job. So no use in wasting water and wetting the dog first. Especially when they got short hair like this. It depends on the dog. Like this dog, this is the method I'm using. Like for this dog, there are some dogs that I would wet first. Like especially if they have any skin issues like warts and everything that need to be, you know, soaked and all that. But if a dog has like a lot of thick hair, sometimes just using this method is, you know, time consuming. It just doesn't go through the water. Or through the coat, sorry. Through the water. And but when they come in regularly, have a short coat, I don't even bother wetting them down. So what I'm going to do is just basically bathe her all over. So I washed her twice. She was actually really dirty, and what I do now is I had a little bit of conditioner on her legs, like on the matted parts. She doesn't really need conditioner on her body. It's just going to be short. And the shampoo that I use is like a conditioning shampoo. So this is just for extra dematting purposes, I guess. Yeah, because conditioner can help get out the mats. I just put a little bit. Actually, I even put a little bit too much. You don't need a lot of conditioner. It goes a long way once you wet it. You can just feel the difference in the coat. Conditioner will help with the knot. Turn around, baby. So I'm basically just going to rinse her all out. She needs some in her face as well. She's got some knotting in there. Come on, just gonna rinse you off. What a good girl. Very good girl. Yes. Very good. So she's dried with the chamois and the towel, and now it's time to blow dry her. Before I do that, I use some dematting spray. Now you can check out my links down below for all the products that I use and recommend to you. All the products that I use in my videos. Come here, sweetie. I just gotta be careful of her face. I spray all this in before I dry her. Now sometimes this can be slippery, so you have to be careful not to get it on the floor. Now before I dry any dog, I always put cotton in their ears. It's best to put something on their ears so it can muffle the sound. So I'm going to be using the high velocity dryer. It can be like quite loud and scary for some dogs. So I use ear protection, so the dog should as well. Hopefully don't shake that out. I just keep an eye on that and put them back in if, or put new ones in if she shakes them out. I dry all my dogs with my high velocity dryer. It has a variable speed. This is what it looks like without any nozzles, and this is what I usually use, especially on small dogs. But to get out knots, you know, I might need to use something more stronger, which is the attachment that comes with it. This is called a cone. I can see the hole is smaller, and there's also like a sweeping nozzle. This is more to keep the hair, if you want it flattened and straight, but this kind of sweeps off the water. She's not that wet anyways, but I can try either or I can just use this. But the cone is the strongest and the loudest. Now I can change the speed. I just gotta kind of fit that in, but I don't know. I don't think she can really tolerate this, but we'll give it a try and see how it goes. So basically you let the products do their work. I've put conditioner in there, some spray for the knots, and dematting spray, and now I'm going to try using my cone attachment on my high velocity dryer. With all the wind and the speed, it'll help loosen out those mats. It probably won't get them all out, but it'll loosen it away from the skin so that I can brush it easier. So let's give it a go. So she's all dry. I haven't brushed her yet, and I brushed the other side and it brushed out easily. Now if the dog is really matted, really pelted, shave the dog. Don't do this. I only do this if it works. I mean, if the knots don't come out, I'm gonna clip the dog really short. I don't really demat dogs or torture dogs. Like so far I haven't even brushed her or anything, and it's gotten this far. And when you saw the drawing, you can see all the knots coming like away from the skin. So now that they're not tight against the skin, if you have to clip it, you can leave a little bit of fur. But I'm just going to show you how I do it, and let's see how it works. So this is my soft slicker. So what I do is I just brush over the hair with this. This just gets out you know, any really loose knots. It's just basically dividing the hair. It doesn't get out all knots. And when you're brushing, you can just feel the knots, if there's any there, and you can hear the difference, you know, when you're brushing it. You can hear this. As compared to when there's no knots, like chin. So what I do is I use that brush, then I switch to my dematting brush. Now the back leg wasn't as bad as the front leg, and this usually will catch on to the knots. And usually if I see anything between the toes, I clip them out because it's very painful. Never, you know, try to comb out those knots between the toes. It hurts. I usually clip them out. This one doesn't feel too bad. There's a knot. So I'm not done yet. I might feel good with the brush. So then I get my comb, my combination comb, and I start with the teeth that are the widest. This is the Greyhound comb. As you can see, it went through. Then I flip it around and use the teeth that are closer together. That feels good so far. So my final way to check if there's any knots is I use my finishing comb. This even has two sides as well. Combination comb, wider, thinner. This will be the finishing, what do you call it? What I do at the very end. Sorry, I get stumbled for words sometimes. So this goes through. So now the test is using this. So there's a knot up there. I can feel that. So if this goes through, I know that I did a great job in getting out those knots. And look at that. That didn't take a lot of effort at all. Let's try her front legs now. She does not like her front legs to be groomed, like to be brushed, even if they're not knotted. So she will, you know, struggle and pull a little bit. And don't worry, it's not hurting her. She's fine. She's just always been like that, even if you have to do anything with her legs. She does have mats under her armpits. I'm just going to clip them out because that's very painful. So if you have, you know, mats under the armpits, just don't brush those out. It hurts. Right, so I'm just going to clip that out a little bit. It's very sensitive here. It's just under the armpits. Nobody can really see it, and you know, it doesn't really matter at this point. She's not a show dog. If she were a show dog, she wouldn't be knotted at all. There. I'm not going to torture you and brush those out. No. Alright, so I'm going to brush her. She's going to pull back. I know she always does. I'm using very gentle strokes. It may seem like I'm brushing hard and quick. I know what I'm doing. I know my pressure. I get a lot of comments. Oh, you're rough with the dog. No, I'm not being rough. This is how you groom a dog if you're a professional. It's okay. It's okay. I know. So sometimes there'll be a, you know, a knot in there that's really tight. And I'll have to use my thinning shears. So let me just see. I know I can feel a lot right here. I'll just brush a little bit more. She's very sensitive in there. I'm going to just clip a little bit more in her armpit as well. There. That'll help you, hey baby? Maybe feel a little bit better. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, I'm being very gentle. I'm actually holding her skin with my other hand. There, and I'm going to try my Dematting brush. If it doesn't come out, then I'll get it out another way. Good girl, very good. Just wait there, baby. Right, so if there's a knot that's more stubborn to come out, I'll show you what I do. See if I can find one. Yeah, See a little, this one here. Get my thinning shears. I just do 1-2 cuts, and I would use my comb. Even just pull it out with your fingers, just like that. And here she has a little bit more bigger ones. Just give it a couple of cuts. You can use the brush, the comb. That'll help ease it out better without, you know, giving her any pain at all. It's okay. And remember, she just doesn't like her legs to be touched or brushed. There's nothing to do with the knots right now. Right, sweetie? Okay, just using my dematting brush. My comb, I'm using the finer teeth section. And my finishing comb. It feels really good, so I'm just going to go right to the very end of my comb here, the very finished, oh, I don't even know how to say that part. My final combing, I guess. Oh, yes, I know. Now she does have a little bit of matting up here, which, if it doesn't come out, I'm going to shave it out. There we go. And a little bit right here. This is a very sensitive area. There we go. Yay! Yay! There we go. Yes, so I used 4 tools, 4 brushing tools and combing tools, and I used a high velocity dryer with the cone condenser on it, and conditioner and a dematting spray. And I got it all out without shaving her, and it wasn't too traumatic for her. Now I have to do her face, but I'll do that off of camera. It's basically the same way. Right, sweetie? So hopefully this video helped you. And just remember, just shave it off if it's really matted, pelted. If this doesn't work, cut them out, shave it off, and start all over and get the dog on a routine. I mean, this dog does come every 4 weeks, and it just gets so matted. It is winter, and it's probably walking in the snow, has a coat on. And maybe the owners don't brush. They say they do, but who knows if they actually do. There we go. Much better, huh? So if your dog is really matted, or the dog you're grooming is really matted, just shave them down if this process doesn't help the dog. I mean, obviously, if this dog was pelted, I would have shaven her down. I don't really demat, but this dog, the knots do come out easier doing it the way I did. So basically I used, 2 brushes, a dematting brush, a soft slicker, 2 combs, the finishing comb. I used conditioner and then dematting spray. And she's going to look nice. I have to do her face, give her trimming, and she'll look all pretty afterwards. So if you want to see more grooming videos on schnauzers, just click on the video on the screen. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my other uploads. So hopefully this video helped you. You ready?